You cannot be scared of what's going to happen and trying to predict if that happen, it's not working out the way I want. You're stressing for nothing. Live in the present.
Yeah. Because then it's just like you becoming anxious about something that can happen. Usually the worst case scenario you're putting in your mind, right? Like you're just thinking about like, what if this, and the chances of those things happening are like 1%.
Yeah.
And you're still freaking out over it. So
yeah, and most of the time you were thinking about the worst case scenario. You don't even think about the good case. It could actually work out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm Veronique.
And I'm Silvia.
Welcome to the High Vibes and the Mind podcast,
where multicultural moms connect.
Hi everyone, we're back for a podcast. This is Veronique and Silvia. How are you today?
Hello, hi everyone. Doing good. Thank you.
Cool. So today we're going to talk about how you can avoid being stressed every day. So a friend of mine was giving me good feedback about the podcast. Thank you for listening. And she said, as a topic, can you maybe give us some tips to avoid being stressed, like on a daily? Because she's already doing the usual meditation, going to work out, exercise, staying calm and everything. But she's like, maybe there's something else out there. So I look it up. And also I was, when she told me about it, I didn't really know what to say. But after I thought about maybe some of her issues, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what I should have said. So today I thought about like 3 things. And Silvia, you're going to tell me what you think about it, right?
Okay.
So I think the most important thing to do is to live in the present. Because most of us, and I do that too a lot, we live a lot in the past, reminiscing about, of course, most of the time, the bad things. And a lot of us live in the future. And if you're worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, or something that's already done, and you can do nothing about it, you're not really living.
Yeah.
You are miserable, and you're getting stressed for real, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, and I think I was really wise beyond my years, because when I was in middle school, I remember in middle school, I had this friend. He was always stressed out, always stressed out. And one day he did something. He's like, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I look at him in the eyes and I said, you know what? It's done. It's done, it's done. I just said that. It's done, it's done. And years later, maybe we were like already like in our 20s, we were working. He's like, Veronique, the day you told me that, you changed my life. I'm like, what? I didn't even remember. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the day you told me it's done and it's done, he said, you changed my life. Because after that, I'm telling you, he was born stressed, this guy. He's like, after that, I was always, when something bad happened, I was always like, well, it's done, it's done. I cannot do anything about it. So, so for me, living in the past, don't think too much about the future. Yeah, of course, you have to visualize your future, of course. But you cannot be scared of what's going to happen and trying to predict if that happen, it's not working out the way I want. You're stressing for nothing. Live in the present.
Yeah. Because then it's just like you becoming anxious about something that can happen. Usually the worst case scenario you're putting in your mind, right? Like you're just thinking about like, what if this, and the chances of those things happening are like 1%.
Yeah.
And you're still freaking out over it. So
yeah, and most of the time you were thinking about the worst case scenario. You don't even think about the good case. It could actually work out. How about that, huh? Thinking, everything could work out. So that's one thing I wanted to tell her, live in the present. Don't think too much about the future. And also one thing also, she's a very, she has good things in her life, a lot of good things. And I think to avoid being stressed every day like this, you have to be grateful for what you already have.
Yeah.
Being grateful. You have good health. Your husband has good health. You have your parents, they're in good health. His parents are in good health. You have a house. You have a pet. You have a good job. Everything. I mean, of course, we're missing some stuff there, and it's coming. It's going to come. Don't worry about it. But what you have right now is actually very, very good. A lot of people don't even have that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, be grateful for what you already have, and the rest will follow. That's what I
And
think.
it's such
The rest will
a, it
follow.
feels like we almost like repetitive with this, but it's an essential thing, part of like transforming your life really, because if you have no gratitude for the things you have, you just end up becoming a bitter person and not being
Mm,
appreciative of all that is around you, all the blessings that are around you. So it's very hard to imagine someone who's not thankful for things or like, for instance, someone who feels entitled for, like, yeah, it's mine anyway, I should have that. You think this person is
mhm.
gonna attract great things to their lives? They won't,
Yeah,
because you just don't appreciate always, like, for even for like the silliest, the smallest things, you always should be saying thank you, thank you. You should always try to do that, or like always remind you, like, oh, I live in this house. It's such an amazing
yeah,
thing. Like, I'm so thankful for that. And think about how other people are living in other places and don't have like running water, don't have
yeah.
sewage. In Brazil right now,
Yeah.
there's like something awful going on in the south of Brazil with the floods, like very, very,
Oh.
very bad flooding there. Like the whole
Mm.
city, like a huge capital city, is underwater, almost like all underwater. So a lot of people
Wow.
dying and like lost everything they have, all their furniture, like family members. So you know what? It's not like for you to feel better about your life, like when you look at this, but just like as a perspective, right? Just to be
Mm.
thankful of what you have, and then things start changing from that point on, because your energy shifts as well. When you start
Yeah.
being thankful, you're like, you feel good, like, oh my god,
Mm.
thank you,
I
thank you,
have
thank you,
this
god. It feels so good. Your energy
because
changes.
I think sometimes we forget what we have. We're so used to have it, you know. Sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
forget. We take it for granted. Also, most of the
Yeah.
time, you know, and we just forget, because it's every day's life. Oh yeah, I have that job. Oh yeah, I have that house. But yeah, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so happy, I live here. And I don't live
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a country, or I couldn't open my mouth, or I couldn't say anything, or there's no job, or there's a lot
Yeah.
of disease or whatever. We don't know. So yeah, be grateful for what you have.
Yes.
Um, and the last thing you could do if you have time, but that's something else. But sometimes if you're always stressed out and sorry, you're trying to get rid of that stress. Sometimes it's good also to concentrate on other people. You know, give your time to other people. Concentrate on people who maybe don't have what you have. Volunteering or doing something else for somebody. When you do something for other people, you don't even think about yourself. Don't even think about you. You don't think about your own problems. You go home, you're
Mm-hmm.
tired or whatever, and you're like, oh, I did something good today. I volunteer or I did something good today for somebody else. And it's going to make you feel good about yourself. And that
Yeah.
stress will go away.
Yeah, like charity, right? Like doing something. It's just keeping your mind busy as well. It's good, because
Yes.
then you're not gonna be thinking about all the bad things, that like how bad your life is and how unfair things is. We're always gonna go through tough times. I mean, it's just because it's life, right? You're gonna be like, why me? Why did it happen?
Yeah.
But it happens to so many people. There's always something, like someone who has something that you don't have, or like went through there's always something. We all go through struggles through life, and it's just the best way is just to learn how to navigate those things the best way you can.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
especially if you really want something, uh, the less you get attached to that thing, the better it is. You want it, but just if you come from a place of being neutral, neutrality is such a magic thing. Once it's hard,
I
but
know.
once you're
It's
able to,
hard.
from seeing things from distance, like, I want that, and I can rest now, I can relax now, and I'll do what I can. Of course, it's like always taking actions and doing what you have to do, but with that thought of, like when you're going on a trip, right, on the plane, on a destination, like, hey, I'm gonna make it there, and I just have to wait and do other things, read a book,
Mm.
watch a movie, but I know I'm gonna make
Yeah.
it to that destination. So it's like that type of And the same vibe of just relaxing, do what you have to do in the journey, during the journey for you to get where you want to be, and
That's a
just
good
don't worry
analogy
about the
because,
future.
yeah, that's exactly what we did, with the adoption of
Hmm.
our second one. I was thinking about that every day. Oh, when is that going to happen? When is that going to happen? And the day we relax and we're like, you know what? We're going to go on vacation. We're not going to think about that for a week. And of course, that's when it happened. When you let it
Hmm.
go. And I was like, I'm not going to stress out. It might take 3 years. So, I'm not going to stress out about it. I'm not going to stress for 3 years, right? So I'm just going
Yeah.
to live my life. And when it happen, it will happen. And in my heart, I was like, I know it's going to happen. So I just have to be patient.
And
That's
you
it.
did what you were supposed to do. We did what you could. So it's like you
Yeah.
did your part.
Yeah.
You worked with the agency. You got all the papers. You got everything ready. And now it's you're gonna be worried about like when, what day, like knowing the future. No, you just okay.
Yeah.
It's all done, and now like let's wait and I focus on other stuff, do other things still like, but without that like that feeling of like I need this right now, like something is lacking, because then it's just
Yeah.
it's always like that with everything. You have countless examples of things that you want so bad. The moment you really relax, that's when it happens, isn't it?
Yes.
It's small and big things. So I think it's just like it's huge.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're too desperate for something, it doesn't happen. You're too stressed about it. That's the thing. You're stressing too much about it. So you keep, the blessing. You keep the blessing, from coming to you.
Yeah.
It's like blocking your blessing. So
So
you
try to
need
do
to.
something like I think ways other ways as well. If you don't like meditating, which really like empties the mind,
Yeah.
meditation and exercise is very similar, like working with the mind as well. Because during that time, you're
Yeah.
not thinking about anything else, right? You're not like, oh, what am I going to cook for dinner? What am I going to do? Like nobody's thinking about those, or you're like
No.
concentrated on exercise. Like you just, it's total present moment until it ends, and then you're like, okay, what's going on in my life now? Let me. So it's just like that time for you not to have to worry about anything. You just practice to do something like that daily, or reading a book. I think like for like a good hour. It's just like getting you taking the attention from what you really want. What is stressing you out. You shift the attention to something more light, and it helps. It helps calming you down as well. I think that the moment you start getting too
Yeah.
anxious about the future, maybe read a book or go exercise or go meditate. Like try to shift the thought, so that
You
you
know when
stop.
Yeah, when you talk about reading a book, it made me think. Something I do when I'm actually feeling stressed or whatever. It's very simple. I just watch something funny on the TV. On TV, I just put like a comic set, or maybe like an episode of something I like, and I know it's gonna be funny. I swear, if you watch like 1 hour of your, I don't know, your favorite comic or whatever doing a set on TV, and you're laughing for 1 hour, stress is gone, because laughing is the solution to stress. So watch
Yeah,
something funny on TV. Don't watch the news. Don't watch another movie. Don't watch anything about sad things. Watch something funny.
yeah,
Can
yeah.
help.
That's true. Like watching like too many negative news and too much
Yeah,
negative TV, it affects you. So
negative
that's why I
TV.
don't even
Yeah,
watch it. I'm like, I like
come
the
on.
podcast or listen to a podcast or something like that,
Or listen to us.
or
Okay,
listen
listen
to
to our
us.
episode, and
Yeah,
you will feel better.
yeah, yeah, and you're gonna learn how to deal with anxiety and stress, ways of
Ah,
releasing stress.
yeah,
Another way,
we have a lot of tips.
sleeping. Another way is to like just sleep better, sleep well, like try to sleep like regularly this amount of hours, right? Well, last
Mm-hmm.
night, since I went to the Justin Timberlake concert, I didn't really have a lot of sleep. I slept for 5 hours and like 5.5 hours. I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling so, thanks to coffee. So I had to like drink caffeine to be okay. And right now, I'm sure I'm going to crash at some point, but
Yeah,
affects you the whole day, and you get cranky, you get in a bad mood. So try to sleep 8 hours. Like, I think for me, that's what works. Like, at least 8 hours. I need to have 8 hours of sleep.
it's
And
magic.
Yeah, and then and you know what, like what people say as well, if you're getting too stressed out or like pissed off at something, go take a nap.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
so it's like,
okay,
go take a
baby,
nap. Just
okay,
take a nap.
baby, go take a nap. It's time for your nap
Yeah,
now.
take a power nap because then again, like your thought with all the worries of all the negativity, it's turned off when you go and take a nap, and then you stop with that. Like the subconscious mind is not gonna be like working on that because then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna, so it kind of like resets, or stops the negative thought from continuing.
Mm,
So yeah, you take a
yeah,
nap and then you wake up like, oh, what was I worried about again? Oh, okay, and then it's just it's tough. Like there is also the side of like toxic that we were talking to someone we interviewed recently
toxic
about toxic
positivity.
positivity. Of course,
Yeah,
it's like, well, we can switch your mind like that. Like, oh yeah, I'm feeling wonderful, and I still have this shit going on in my life. Something really bad. It's not like you're gonna turn it off because it's never. But at least finding ways to reduce it and to make sure
yeah,
it doesn't affect your life, because if you get completely affected by that, you're not going to be able to act and make any changes. Like you're just like stuck. I feel like okay, now what? So I'm with my hands tied and I feel like giving up. Then nothing happens, right? So you have to have
yeah,
like a try to have a calmer mind so that you can act accordingly. Let's put it this way.
and and give yourself a little break also. Of course the problem is not going to disappear because you're doing this or that, but give yourself a
Yeah.
little break during the day if you're stressed
Mm-hmm.
out, every day. It's good to do
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Comparison too is not going to help if you try to compare yourself with others. So where they are right now and where you are at,
Oh,
like it's the worst
ooh,
thing, right? It's
I
the
never do
worst thing.
that. I never do
Yeah.
that because I know that everybody's circumstances
Oh,
are different.
always. Yeah.
So what's the
Yeah.
point of this anyway? I never do
Mm-hmm.
that. That's a
Yeah.
waste of time and a waste of your mind.
Yeah.
If you want to get crazy, yeah, do that. Compare
Do
yourself
that.
to other people.
Yes. Start comparing yourself with others and you'll see.
And everybody has issue. Those people you're comparing yourself to, they
Yes.
are comparing themselves to somebody else.
Yeah.
There's always somebody better anyway. So
Always. Always somebody better. I had like a good
yeah,
example the other day of that. Like, wow, yes, there's always someone who's gonna be so
yeah,
better or trying more. There's never you think like, oh, this person has it all. No, they
no,
also try to get something else. So yeah,
no, you
comparing
don't know.
it
We
doesn't
don't know
work.
what's going on, in their lives. So
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
not worth it.
So what else do you have? Any? Oh, how about church? Would you suggest or like a spiritual practice? Huh?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it has always been, on the menu. Church has always. I mean, for the last 20, not always, but the last 20 years since I moved in here, church has always been, something where I go and I find support. But for people,
Mm.
who don't practice, yeah, a religion, I don't know, yeah, they don't go to church. Maybe
Like
finding a
yoga,
community,
yeah, or yoga retreats or like those
yeah, finding a
spiritual.
community, yeah,
Hmm.
where everybody, where you can be spiritual with some, with a group. It
Yeah,
helps.
yeah. You just kind of for 1 hour, everybody with a like a positive thought and
Yeah,
like try to lift everybody up, each other up. So yeah, regardless of the type of religion, and just if he has that function to lift each other up and no judgment of anyone else, and
hmm
it's good.
because sometimes you don't realize, but when everybody's praying at the same time or everybody's doing me being spiritual at the same time, yeah, it goes back to you. And maybe you don't feel it at the moment, but after when you leave, or maybe like a few days later, you like, wow, I feel really good these days, or I feel better, and you don't know why, but it's because other people's energy. Like they can
Mm-hmm.
give you bad energy, but we also can give you good energy.
Yeah, that's a
So
good point, huh? Because a lot of people just oh, like all these people bad energy. How about the good energy that a
good
lot of people can
energy.
bring it to you? Yeah, like a
Yeah.
group. Mm-hmm.
And that's how
Very
I feel when I
powerful.
go to church. I feel like, oh, we're all praying, same prayer at the same time, to the same God, the same thing, and we all giving each other, peace and everything. And when I leave church, I'm like, oh, I got this energy from all those people. And I give my energy to all these people.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you leave church, it's very different because you're getting
yeah.
all those good energy.
I like that actually. Yeah, never thought about it that
Hmm.
way. That like everybody there with like the same idea or the same with the same goal,
Yeah,
right? To be healed,
yeah,
to be forgiven, to be to be in peace.
yeah.
That's it.
You
That's the idea when you go to church or to.
you never saw a mass when people like adults get baptized. You
Uh,
never
if I saw what?
and you never attended a mass where I think most of the time it's around Easter when they baptize the adult. When you're an adult and
Oh.
you want to convert to Christianism and you have to be baptized as an adult. So when they do that mass, everybody has to bless the people. And it's really powerful because you have to bless them. Something you never do when you're in church. You don't bless anybody, right? The priest is blessing everybody.
Hmm.
But in that case, you have to bless them. And you put your hand and you bless them. It's very
Ah,
powerful
I've
when you
never
do
seen
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
And you
sounds.
really feel like, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm blessing you. I'm helping them coming to the church, coming to to the community. I like the
Hmm.
community things.
Yeah,
So for my
and if you're
friend,
feeling good,
yeah,
like lighthearted, that's the
yeah.
goal. That's how
And
we
you're
want.
happy, more people coming in the community, on their free will, and you, you're welcoming them. It's really nice. It's really nice. So
Yeah.
that's good vibe, you can give to people, and good vibe people can give you. So if you can find a community, could be church, like it could be a retreat, like you said, like a yoga retreat or any kind of retreat for a
Hmm.
few days or for a week, if you can take it. You're coming out of there stress free for at least a month.
Yeah.
Stress free for at least for a good time.
And it can't do you any harm. That it's not gonna do you any harm to be stress free and feeling in peace.
Yeah.
Peace with
Oh,
yourself.
something she can do also. Something I will do. Little getaway with your
Hmm.
husband. You can do little
Oh yeah.
getaway. You can just take your car, drive to the beach, or book a hotel for the night. Get out of your house.
Yeah.
Out of your everyday
Routine.
environment,
The routine. Yeah.
routine.
Hmm.
Yeah, little getaway, and you're gonna think about something else. Make new memories.
That's a great
Once in a
idea.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like getting your mind off the. It's
yeah,
not like you working on the things you want. Like always have to keep that. Like make sure people understand. Like you're always doing what you have to do, the actions, but
yes.
with your mind, it's just like okay, but I can focus on other things and just
Hmm.
coming from like a light, like a very light, like no pressure type of energy. It feels so
Exactly.
much better.
No pressure. Changing
Yeah,
the energy a little bit, yeah, around you and your mind.
yeah.
So,
So, well, I think we gave her, your friend, and anyone else who's listening to
yeah,
good tips on how to handle stress or try to manage it and reduce the stress. That's what we try to do as well. And you
that's what we're
know,
trying to do. We've been through so many things. We know
yeah, no, we try this,
what it
try
is to be
that.
stressed out and more, in our lives. I'm sure we're gonna have more stuff, coming to our lives. So
Yeah, yeah,
trying to adapt. But hopefully she will give me some feedback. She will tell me, if she thought that was helpful, if she tried some of them. Shout out to you, girl. I hope you're gonna be less stressed soon, and like Sylvia said, continue what you're doing, of course, but give yourself a break. Give your mind a break. Sometimes
hmm,
it's good.
yes, agreed.
All
All
right,
right.
thank you, and that was it for today. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, and we have a Facebook page also where you can go and check our clips and everything we're doing.
Yeah, you can also check out our blog. We have a weekly blog that is a sum up of our guests, the upcoming episodes. So if you want to check it out, go to the website and you guys can subscribe and receive the weekly blog in your email in your email box.
Yeah. And also, if you want to leave us a message for maybe some topics that you want us to talk about, you can also leave us a message on what is Sneak Pipe?
Speak pipe.
Speak Pipe. What is Sneak Pipe? Speak Pipe.
Yeah.
It's on the blog. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to High Vibes on a Mic. Until next time, laugh hard, stay silly, and never forget to bring your sense of humor. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest.